Recording in progress.
Good morning, everybody. Feel free if you want your cameras on, feel free. If not, good morning, Miss Kelly. If you're unable to join us on camera, that's okay too. Have you all, good morning, Jill and Sarah and Ted. I'm assuming your name is Ted. Nice to see you.
That's actually Ed. Why you got a T in front of why you got a T in front of your name, Ed?
Because that's what they call me at home.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna call you Ted. Nice to meet you,
We're
Ed.
glad you feel at home with us.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. To keep on time here with everybody, and we'll keep letting people into the meeting as they show up. So good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're at. Good early morning if you're in Hawaii. We're excited to have you all here today. This is kind of our first initial kickoff meeting, and we're really going to be kind of showing you just some of the foundation. We're going to talk a little bit about how this kind of came to be and what the purpose is. And yeah, we're just thrilled. So my name is Jerica Owen. I am the Executive Director of the National Animal Care and Control Association. And I am joined by my colleagues, Eric, Dana, and Carla. So I'll let them each introduce themselves and then we'll jump in. Eric, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Eric Thompson. I am the executive director for A.S.I.S.T training and response. I also run the animal incident management team under Bissell Pet Foundation. And so it all kind of ties together onto the disaster front to bring different resources.
And Dana?
Hi, everyone. My name is Dana. I'm the Administrative Program Coordinator here at NACA.
And Carla.
Hi, everybody. My name is Carla Lewis. I'm an animal control officer for the city of Leawood. I've been doing that for 14 years. I'm on the board of the Kansas Animal Control Association, and I'm a team lead for A.S.I.S.T training and response.
Fantastic. So as you've seen, this is a bit of a collaboration between A.S.I.S.T and NACA. And the focus really is on the animal control function during disasters. And we've noticed, and we've actually tested a couple of things out over the last few years, but we noticed that this is an area that we often need a lot of support in during disasters, is that animal control, the animal control function, whether the officers are impacted themselves personally and not able to work, or maybe the operation and the disaster is just so big that they need additional support, and that there's different roles. There may be just general ACO roles that need to be filled, that maybe they're being pulled to do other things, maybe behind fire lines or, you know, during flood operations and things like that. So we felt this gap the last couple of years of really supporting the animal control function during disaster response. And just a real quick kind of story, I think, of how we kind of started thinking about this was during the Lahaina fires. There was a need for animal control. And not having a huge pool of people, or no pool really, we had tons of different officers and people who are willing and trained to respond, but no formal function of how to get them there. So Eric reached out to NACA, and through the support of our state association relationships, we reached out to just the West Coast. So Jill's on the call. We reached out to California, Arizona, Oregon, and Washington, just the 4 state association heads. And to each of them, I said, hey, look, we need to fill, I think it was 3 to 5 weeks in Hawaii, 4 to 5 officers every week. I mean, we had to fill a full schedule for 2 months. And because of our relationships and because of our partnerships and because of the strong work that each of those state associations do in their own states, we were able to fill that calendar and fill those ACO support roles for the entire 2 months. I think we probably could have gone longer. And not only that, Eric, we filled it, it's in like 2 hours?
Like 2.5 hours. We filled 7 weeks worth of ACOs. Now, of course, everybody wanted to go to Maui for a working vacation, but we actually had a very long waiting list of people that wanted to go.
But we saw the success of that. We saw just the value in being able to kind of pull together this group of very specialized individuals. ACOs are very specialized individuals. They have the training, the skills, the knowledge, the required to backfill those ACO roles. And so that's kind of where put our heads together. This is definitely Eric's brain baby of how can we do this? What can we pull together? And so that's sort of where this ASIST idea came from. And I'm going to let Eric go into it a little bit deeper. And we're going to go through some of the FAQs and frequently asked questions. Then we will jump into some of the structures and some of the logistics that we've put into place to be able to do the look who's trained and see kind of where we're keeping the responders, how we're going to be communicating, things like that. But we're going to be talking every month or every other month to get with the group, to really meet everybody and to do some just kind of basic trainings. But part of the trainings required, of course, are those FEMA trainings and some of those other disaster related trainings. But we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit more. Other than that, just kind of general housekeeping. If you have questions, either use the little reaction hand button is fine if you want to unmute and ask your questions, or feel free to pop it right in the chat and I will keep an eye on those and we can answer some of those at the end as well. I believe that is it. So I will go ahead and hand it on over to Eric.
Okay, great opening. I want to start kind of with how we're going to deploy and the different modes that assistants can work in this year before storm season gets in. So again, as Jarek said, our primary function is to support animal control units that need support. When we get into larger states with really organized animal control state associations, or we get large metropolitan areas that have mutual aid agreements with other animal control areas, the ASIST program probably won't be necessary. Is that you're going to have enough resources in that region that you wouldn't have to go outside and ask for ACOs to be shipped in. This is really going to appeal to areas where it may be a 3 or 4 person ACO show and they have a massive event and we need to bring ACOs in, or there's actually states out there that don't have state animal control associations to use as a resource. That's going to be a great opportunity for the ASIST program to kick in and support these animal control units. And the reason we really wanted to focus on this is over the last 2 years, we've been seeing emergency management ask for ACOs because that's what's in their emergency plan. They don't have A.S.I.S.T teams or animal search and rescue teams or other FEMA resource type teams in their emergency plans, but they do have local animal control. And a lot of times, our local animal control isn't versed in emergency management, may not even know they're part of the emergency management plan, and don't understand exactly how to take control of that situation. So we want to make sure that it's pushed out to animal control agencies that if a disaster happens, we'll try to stay on top of it and reach out proactively during events. But we definitely want to make sure that they know how to reach up to NACA or ASAR. You can activate ASIST through either one to start to get support in there. Now, levels of support are going to be different, and we are going to do this so we are supporting everybody from the ground up. We don't want to just come in and stomp all over an operation with national resources. So we're going to take Texas, the Kerrville flooding, for an example, because it worked really well when that happened. So Kerrville floods. And Jericho reaches out to Texas Animal Control Association saying, hey, have you talked to Kerrville yet? And this is within the first 12 hours. They said, no, but we've got them. They're part of the association. Let's call them. So we get a hold of Kerrville and talk to the ACOs, and they say, hey, things are starting to get unfold. Right now, we don't have any needs, but we're glad to have the support here. And then we worked with TACA and said, okay, as a state association, do you have capability to support these guys as an agency to agency request? Or do you need us to have come in and organize the coordination through ASIST? TACA comes back and says, hey, we've got it. We've got enough resources. We can do the coordination ourselves. And if we run out of folks, we'll push up and activate ASIST. That's perfect. That's exactly the way it's going to go. If we can get local and regional resources put together quickly and they can coordinate themselves, we don't need to be there except to support them in whatever they need. If we get into an area that doesn't have all that, then they can activate ASIST. Now, the thing about an actual ASIST activation, when we actually deploy, there has to be an ASAR MOU in there. So rather than create a whole nother MOU system for ASIST, we just slid that capability under ASAR MOUs. A.S.I.S.T MOUs, it's a memorandum of understanding. It's basically an agreement with the agency having jurisdiction or the one that's impacted that says, hey, you have approved us to bring in animal control resources. It's not going to cost you a thing. We're going to take care of our own people. We're going to come in and help, and then we're going to go away. And it's all for free. But that agreement has to be in place before we can deploy, because we don't want to ever be accused of self-deploying, resources in without actually doing it the right way and working with emergency managers and first responders and working within that system. The nice thing is you don't have to worry about that as officers. We're going to organize all that on the front end. So by the time a deployment order comes up, is all that paperwork's going to be cleared, and all you've got to go is focus on what the field duties are at the time. The ASIST program is not technical animal rescue. That's an ASAR program. Is that if you want to do technical animal rescue, you may have seen an email come out earlier where ASAR is going to offer, I'm hoping to offer at least 50% off all training to ASIST members. That's going to be a big deal. If you want to step up and do technical animal rescue, we're going to try to make it as inexpensive as we can for you. But please understand that these are going to be normal road duties. Most times, I mean, you most likely will be working in a disaster area. So over time, we're going to try to do some virtual training on hazard mitigation for collapse structures, confined space, things that you're going to run into in your normal job duties. But if you want to do swift water training, boat operations, high angle ropes, large animal technical rescue, that type of stuff, that's through ASAR and whatnot. We also would really like you to go through the NACA 1 and 2 that has the disaster portions in it. Jarek and I and Dana, we're all talking about uh, starting additional virtual training for the library coming in 2026 as we start to identify that. And I really want you guys to be engaged and give us the feedback. What do you want to see prior to going in? Before you go on any deployment, you will always meet with us and say, okay, here's your staging, here's how many days you need, here's what you're gonna, need to wear, and whether you're bringing vehicles, whether you're flying in, we will give you as much information as you need. We'll make sure that your housing's set up. If you go into the FAQs, is that your meals and your travel and the major expenses are covered. If you're coffee drinking, you got to go get your morning coffee. That's your own thing. We're not paying for your coffee. I'm not paying for your soda drinks. I'm not paying for your Bang energy drink. That's your guys' stuff, but we will make sure, and eventually we may do a per diem. Remember, we're just building this out and figuring it out. Otherwise, for now, we'll figure out that you either keep your receipts or something like that. This is obviously, well, sometimes this is not obvious, but we are a dry unit through the ASIST program. There is no drinking, and even when you're not on duty, you're not having a drink at dinner. We are dry the entire time you're deployed. There are some agencies out there that once you're off duty, they'll let you have a drink with dinner. We don't do that. Disaster situations, you're dehydrated most of the time anyway. So any type of substance abuse would automatically disqualify you from being in the field, and we ship you back home. So we would also hopefully we'll have team leads designated out there. Most times when the ASIST program is engaged, since we're using the A.S.I.S.T MOU, we'll have at least one A.S.I.S.T team lead out there. So we'll have credit cards. You guys may see in the new truck get logoed out. So the new truck is going to be out there as much as possible to support you. And I think Dana's going to be releasing new T-shirts to here soon. That'll be ASIST T-shirts. The expectation, hopefully, is your agency will let you wear your uniform and your belt and all your equipment. If for some reason, and this happened in Maui, and it was not a big deal, but the agency said, hey, we don't care if our ACO goes, they're just not going on our time. And we don't pay time through ASIST, we just pay expenses. So we'll offer you up either you can buy an ASIST t-shirt online and wear some ASIST t-shirts. If you're out and an ASAR team's there, ASAR teams will have t-shirts that you can wear, and that's what we did in Maui. We just put them in ASAR t-shirts. We just need something that says, hey, you're here, you've got some training, and you're working with an agency. It looks a little bit more official. So we'll hopefully get that feedback from you as you sign up and you say, hey, I'm taking my vacation time to do this. I need a t-shirt. So we'll do that on a case by case basis. If you don't have if you think you may need assist support and you don't have an ASAR MOU, I'll put my email in chat so you have it. Just email me. It's a super generic document. It doesn't cost your agency a thing to sign up with the MOU to get it on file ahead of time. And it just saves time because a lot of time the legal beagles don't want to look at MOUs during disasters. But again, that is going to be necessary for us to have authority to actually be in there to support that agency. There is nothing to say that, again, we can start making phone calls and we hook up one agency just to go to another agency without deploying the ASIST program. We had plenty of agencies that said, hey, we'll go. We just need to know where to go and how to get there. In which case, that agency to agency support, they cover their own costs, they share things out, and we're just a dot connector at that point in time. So there's 3 or 4 different ways that we're going to activate, but again, we're always starting at the lowest local level to make sure that we're getting the resources that are closest there the fastest, and then we'll bolster from there. On the off chance that we can't fill all the ACO needs, which I just can't see that happening. If something exceeds our capabilities through this program is really, really, really bad. So I fully expect that we're gonna, I think we're already at, and Dana can brief us when we get the database going, but I think we're almost at 50 officers already, which is pretty good. I think when we did Maui, we had over 75 officers sign up for deployment. So, a lot of people are still hearing about ASIST. A lot of people wait till the disaster happens and then they get all excited about coming out and deploy. Some of the requirements, as you've seen in the FAQs, you do have to be a NACA member. It's the best 25 bucks you're going to spend, folks. Just sign up. If you haven't been, if you haven't been a member yet, sign up, go in the membership portal area. There's so many resources there. Not to mention our meetings are going to be there, and I'll let Dana talk about the back end of that when we start talking about housekeeping. But you do need to be an ACA member. You do need to be active in an ACO organization, or at least recently active. We've got some folks that have retired that still want to stay involved. That's fine. 20 years of being on the road definitely qualifies you to participate in this program. So we want to make sure that people are active. This is not going to be open to civilians and or people that are not from the animal control world. So we want to make sure that people are speaking the same language. Let's see what else. We've talked about certifications. One of the FAQs is there going to be any special certification for ASIST? And that's we just want normal road activities. If there's things that you would like to see through the ASIST program that we can bring you in training again, that's going to be a big deal for us. You tell us what you want the training, we'll pick it up and try to get it to you the best we can, or get those avenues. There are no dues to be part of this. There are some baseline qualifications, which you guys are probably already doing through your agencies. The FEMA independent study courses, 100, 200, are ideally, that's the incident command structure, which if you've been in the business, you've probably already done those. There's also 700, 800, which talks a little bit more about the National Incident Management System, or NIMS. We're kind of holding, I'm not saying don't do those modules, but I'm saying that the national disaster landscape is changing right now, and that we, may not have the same NIMS structure or support systems in place coming through the next year. So it's always good to know about the national structure, but we're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with some of that readiness. Otherwise, definitely get your ICS stuff under your belt. What else? Before, let me take a breath, take a drink. Anybody got questions with that so far?
So would this
Eric,
be,
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead,
Go
Manny.
ahead.
so would this kind of like take over the EMAC system? Kind of, but not really, is what I'm looking at. Like with EMAC, you're covered by your city or town to respond, but here you're volunteering. And how does it work um, with workers' comp and stuff like insurance stuff? If your town is
Yeah,
not covering you.
yeah, great question, Manny. So the EMAC system is the Emergency Management Assistance Compact. That's how states share resources back and forth. We have had states request animal control officers before, and if there is a state and agency that can utilize EMAC to order that resource, we absolutely want to let that happen. We're not here to supersede the emergency management system. What we occasionally will see is either one, the local EMAC coordinator doesn't realize what animal control resources happened, or if an EMAC
So true.
request does come out, an agency has never thought about sending their animal control officers, and they have a lot of questions, and it delays the response. So we absolutely want EMAC to continue, and we will continue to work with NEMA, or the National Emergency Management Association, to really start to integrate animal resources more into EMAC, because that would be the ultimate goal, that under EMAC you get paid, you get compensated, you're covered, everything that Manny was talking about. If that isn't going to happen and we still need ACOs, we want to make sure that that mechanism is in place. So if you're coming under ASIST, the second part of Manny's question was insurance. We want you to have your own health insurance. We don't provide you health insurance or workman's comp right now. We do have a volunteer insurance, a health insurance policy that it kicks in if your health insurance maxes out. So let's say you're brand new to the health insurance world, you just got a basic policy and you bust your ankle on deployment. Don't do that. But if it happens, is that if you get a bill that your medical insurance doesn't cover, you can turn it into us, and our insurance will supplement that up to $50,000.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
You bet. Carla, you unmuted.
Oh, I just wasn't sure if you were going to go into roles other than basic ACO duties and like the Google form that's going to be coming out next.
Yeah, so what we need to do is we've created categories that if you feel like you're a subject matter expert in a particular area is Carla, I don't have the form up. Do you have the what it's divided into by chance?
Give me 2 seconds and I might
Okay.
be able to put a graphic up in the chat.
So what we're going to try to do when there becomes a request, as Jerick said, we're going to geographically go into the database and say, okay, who's close? But then in the database, you're going to have the ability to have check boxes that say, hey, I have subject matter expert skills in XYZ. And that's the next form that's coming out. So you're going to get another Google survey. This is not a repeat from the last one. This is going to be the actual one that's going to go into the NACA database. But we want to be able to easily find somebody that's got experience as a public information officer, or somebody that's got large animal handling experience. What else is on there, Carla? She's clicking furiously. I can hear it right now. I can't find that database. All right. Well, while she's looking for that, that will come out after this meeting, probably in another day or two. And you can click as many boxes as you want to. If you've been in the business for 20 years and you've got experience in all of these, click all of them. And again, that's just going to help us narrow our search quickly. And then looks like Carla has shared a file. If you guys let me run over to chat real quick, if you guys aren't able to access chat in your trucks. So some of the areas, public information officer, if you've had experience in disaster planning or any type of documentation, I know we are gonna allow people with vet tech experience through ASIST. Because every once in a while we'll get vet techs. Veterinarians will be a separate item. If you got an ACO unit that, let's say, is a shelter component and they need additional veterinarians for health search or something, that will go through local veterinary medical associations through those states. And if they got a regional VMA, but veterinarians will not be funneling through the ASIST program. If you do have a shelter and field services, that's where we're going to kick in some of our animal incident management sheltering alliance partners to help with pet transports, and if you need stuff and vaccinations, if you need ASAR teams, obviously you're going to be tied into ASAR teams. If you need somebody that's a team lead or somebody that works with an emergency operations center, you're going to have an opportunity to click all those types of things. So any of those specialty groups, feel free to sign up for, and that just helps us categorize our resources a little bit more. What else has come to mind? All right, well, Dana, I'm going to kick it over to you to talk about the upcoming database and how we're going to keep track of these guys and what they need to do to help keep their files fresh.
Sure. So right now we have 58 that are signed up with that initial Google form. Carla is developing one that will be available in the follow-up email that will come out in the next day or two, along with the recording for this conversation. And then that will be uploaded into the NACA database on our website. It's still in the build-out phase right now. We're working with the developer to make sure we get it nice and smooth and easy to use. It will be password protected. So whenever that is launched and ready to go, we will send you an email. It will have your own personal alphanumeric code that you will sign into. This is where you will upkeep all of your specialized skills, your certifications, and any other trainings that you may get, in addition to the ones that you fill out on the Google form that will be in this follow-up email. If there's any issues, just reach out to me. You will need your NACA number handy, so that will be on your NACA database on your platform whenever you first sign in. And that's pretty much super easy. We're hoping to make it very user-friendly.
Yeah, so I encourage you all, once those files are up and running and that database is up, we're going to notify you, and it's going to be a great repository for all your certificates. So if you've got a file sitting in your office with all your paper and you can scan that into a PDF and upload it into there, we are not going to chase you down for certificates, but there may be areas that we go into that require proof of certification. So it's your responsibility as officers to already have your proof of certification in that file, just again to speed things along. And if there's some things that you've taken and you just can't find the proof of certification, we do understand that that happens occasionally, but utilize that database and keep all your files good on your technical rescue skills. If you are doing ASAR stuff, or if you're working with any of them. And so we recognize all training, whether you're working with IFAW, ASPCA, American Humane Rescue. We recognize all the other national teams that are doing field stuff. So if you've got certifications from them, from Code 3, I don't want to leave anybody out. We absolutely will honor those. So you don't have to strictly just have training from one specific place. And if you're doing in-house state training, all your state ACO association trainings, we recognize all that stuff too. What else? Most of your deployments will probably ask you for at least a 5 to 7 day commitment. That will include your travel time. And logistically, we try to shoot for that 7 days because that's travel day in, travel day out, 5 days working. Occasionally, we'll get a conversation with your agency that says, hey, try to minimize the overtime for the officers. If it's a requirement that you only work an 8-hour shift, because of course you may be getting paid by your agency. If you are only required to work an 8-hour shift, then we will make sure you're scheduled that way. A lot of disaster time, though, we're working 12 to 14-hour days. So it's going to be up to you on, whether you volunteer outside that 8 hours, if your agency's paying you, or how you want to work it. But we will work with any time constraints that are necessary.
A quick question. On the NACA membership, do you have to be an individual member, or could your association be the member and be in?
So Manny, I think if you're the contact for the state, I think that's probably fine, but I'll let Dana answer that just in case. I think it's fine. Is that right, Dana? Or is it a tracking issue that they need to be individuals?
No, it can basically just, it's not so much the individual number that needs to be assigned, it's just the individual profile that we need to have. So if you are the contact person for your state association or for your agency, that's how we get all kind of your background, your ACO1 certification scores, your expiration date to make sure that you're still active.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
And then the other piece of this is we're talking primarily about response, but if you're in an agency or know an agency that needs help in planning and training stages, is that we can help develop disaster plans in an area. And we've got plenty of templates. I've been doing this for 25 years. I've got more disaster templates than I've ever know what to do with. So you don't have to start from scratch on developing disaster plans. We're more than happy to get you started with a plug and play that you can just cut and paste your agency into if that's what you want to do. Or if you want to bring an exercise into your agency, we just met out in North Carolina with a couple different counties that were putting together their regional animal control agency resources. The individual agencies had never done that type of collaboration where we were working as a regional unit. So we went out and put them through an operational coordination day and really worked through the questions of, who was going to step up and provide what. So this doesn't just have to be response. We can work in blue skies also with you guys. Anything else? Well, we'll continue to watch the weather. Ideally, if we're going to activate this, we may, if we get, and obviously Hurricane Aaron's out there right now, not going to hit much, but there's a couple waves coming off next. And so if we see something that's imminent and we have to start moving things around, is we'll just give you guys a situational email saying, hey, we may be activating the assist program or putting the assist program on standby, which that email will basically ask for your availability. It's not a deployment. But, if Hurricane Francis is going to hit Mississippi, and I'm picking on Mississippi because they don't have a state animal control association. They have lots of ACOs, but they're not organized. If it's going to hit Mississippi, and Mississippi does have a state MOU with us, Mississippi says, hey, we're going to activate our A.S.I.S.T MOU, which is going to give them access to the ASSIST program. We will let you know that, saying, hey, Mississippi has put us on standby. We're going to ask for your availability. We'll give you these dates. And you'll get a little questionnaire that says, I can drive, I can fly, I can wear my uniform or my agency, I take vacation. We'll get that deployment questionnaire ready to go for you. We'll get your information. And then once we get the okay from emergency management and the actual request with staging locations and housing locations, we will get all that out. And then the team that's going to go before you leave, you'll have a meeting with myself or one of the team leads or Jerica or somebody to give you information on how to track travel and all that. So we'll have constant communication with you guys when you're actually out and about. We will not leave you hanging, I promise. All right. Any other burning questions?
I did put the link in the chat. We have a whole FAQ section on the website as well. If there's anything else that you think of that comes to you later on today or tomorrow or whenever it comes to you, feel free to just email us and we will answer as many as we can.
All right, ladies and gents. Well, I'm excited to have you guys on board. Continue to spread the word. Ultimately, we'd love to have 75 officers in the database and start to get those perks and trainings figured out. Again, as we're starting to roll this out, you guys are driving it. So if there's something that you want to see through this program that's not there, that hasn't popped up that we can start to work on for 2026, please let us know so we can start working on that for you so we can support you.
Sounds great.
Hey.
And thank you guys for organizing this. This sounds like a great program. I'm super excited.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for years, and we've actually tried to do something similar over the past couple of years. Manny was one of the first ones to work on the NACA deployment database, and that's when we were trying to track certs, and it just got so labor intensive, and then we couldn't find a mechanism of deployment. So now we're starting to see emergency managers start to work it out, and again, we'll continue to work that system in place. So we're excited to finally roll it. So thank you guys for making it happen. All right, Jerica, Dana, anybody else? Last words before we're out?
Thank you, and be safe out there, and we'll see you when we see you. Thanks, everybody.
All right, have a great Monday.
Thank you.